have a conversation about anger.
Right.
What does anger look like for you, or what comes to mind when you think about anger?
Okay, immediately, as soon as you said the word anger, I thought about the little red guy in Inside Out.
Yeah.
That he gets all tense.
Yeah.
And the flame like fires out of his head when he's completely spent. Like he just can't hold it in anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think about.
That doesn't surprise me that's what comes to your head. And what does anger look like for you?
I can get very quiet sometimes, actually. Like if something's happened, I sometimes shut down.
Yeah.
And I can't really think or engage. I just go into this like shutdown mode. But other times it would feel like I have loads of thoughts really, really quickly, and I just want to change the situation. I don't understand why what's happening is what's happening. It feels wrong or painful, and so then my thoughts will go really, really, really quickly. And if I'm describing a situation that I'm angry about, so maybe not in the situation, but it's happened and I'm retelling it, then I will just have lots of verbal thoughts, and I talk quickly, and I'll make noises like, oh!
Yeah.
Like, so oh! And I'll ask questions like, why did that happen? And I don't understand, and my voice will get louder. And then I'll breathing down. Yeah.
I mean, this is a vulnerable question that we're asking people to be vulnerable in this series, but can you think of a time when you can pinpoint that idea of an unexpressed emotion, or that under the surface emotion when you had an angry moment?
Yeah. So I used to live in Nepal, and they don't have the same traffic regulations that we would have, so driving is different. And I was on my motorbike driving, and I was noticing that I was getting very frustrated with other drivers, especially if I'm driving along the road and there's another driver pulling up to the junction and they don't look, they don't stop, they just drive on out. And I'm on a motorbike, and so the braking quickly is very dangerous. And so I was driving, like watching everybody coming up. I was slowing down in advance. I knew they would just pull out. And I was noticing how angry I was getting. Like it was an immediate, like very angry rush in that moment, and shouting and with my helmet on, like or blaring my horn. And I realized, I took some time to think, like, why am I so angry? And I realized that I felt like I wasn't worth their time. So my life wasn't worth them stopping for 2, 3, 4 seconds to see if I was coming. So in that moment, I heard them say, your life doesn't matter. So it was actually offensive. So it wasn't really bad driving. It was actually, I'm not worth a few seconds of your time. And so therefore you're saying I don't matter. So that was like what was going on behind it.
I'm not seen.
Yeah, and I literally, like, my life has no value, because if you can't take 5 seconds to protect my life, motorbikes are dangerous, to drive. So if I come off it, it's injury, that I just, so that helped, because in that I knew, like, they're not thinking that way. They're not driving up the road, like, no driver matters, I'm the only one on the road. They don't think that in the moment. So then when that anger rose, I could tell myself, I matter, they're not thinking that, they're just not thinking. And then my anger was just dropped.
Yeah, and that's, like, we've touched on this, we were talking about this off the camera, about how anger can be deceiving.
Totally.
In a way. So, yeah. And real quickly, what are ways that help you calm down from, like, rage? Like, I'm not just talking, like, a wee bit frustrated, I'm talking about rage.
So without thinking, I notice I actually, like, I literally pause, my thoughts pause, I feel like I put everything on pause, and I breathe, and then that just happens, and then I realise, okay, I need to just slow down. I might take myself out of the room. I might say, hey, I just need a few minutes, or I might try to make sure that in that moment I don't do anything that I regret, and then when I'm in a place of calm, come back to what happened and reflect later about what was going on. But I would say, like, just try to get myself to a place of calm. So yeah.
Is it fair to say that when you reflected and had that moment of, oh, it's because I felt like I didn't matter, did that instantly diffuse?
Yeah, totally.
Or does it help to recognize, to pay attention to that underlying emotion that we talk about?
One, I think it helped because I suddenly realized what was going on. So that I went from I felt really powerless. Like, I didn't like that I was getting really angry. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't like that being a normal place. And so then I don't like being that way, and then I want to change that, but I couldn't work out what was going on. So then I felt powerless because I couldn't change it. So I think working out the source immediately just was like all the air in the balloon was let out, and then I could think of, okay, these are things I'm going to do in that moment that helps me recognize it's not like good driving, like it's not good driving, but I'm not going to be in that rage moment where it feels like the anger is leading me rather than me leading me. And good. So I think whatever I do in those moments, like breathing or taking a time out, leaving the situation, maybe if sometimes, like, if you're in a meeting, you can't leave the meeting, like you just can't. So I almost feel like, okay, I'm going to put this on a shelf, I'm going to think about positive things, I'm going to come back to this. I think it's really important you do come back to it. But things like that in my head, like, okay, I'm just going to pop you there, focus on something positive, and if it's someone then I try to think of, like, the things that I really appreciate about them in the moment until I can get to the place to address it. So
because when you're in that moment, you can't see past.
So if I can get myself to calm, and then this was the kind of thing they did for me last week, this is what they say to me that makes me know they care about me. I'm sure it was just a thoughtless moment. I choose to believe it was thoughtless. I choose to believe those type of things, because your head will just go in a lot of negative thoughts that I don't know are true. Like, they don't care, they never really cared, how could they say that? But letting myself process through that when it's in a calm place later in the day, I find helpful.
So
is that
amazing?
yeah.